Yo, good morning, everybody. Um, so I forgot to upload for this week. I did last week, but I didn't do it this week. That's my bad. Um, basically, I hope all of y'all had a fantastic Thanksgiving, and I hope y'all enjoyed some amazing food. Enjoyed your time with your families. Enjoyed football last week. Hey, can't ask for more. Thanksgiving with rivalry week. I always have issues saying that. But it can't get much better than that. But this week can. Conference championship week. All the conferences are playing their championships. Um, Conference USA, Pac-12, ACC, AAC, Big 12, all of them. Two games were played last night. Well, one game was really played. The other one was just kind of was not a game. Um, I'm gonna start with the one that was a game. I didn't watch any of it. I kept up with the score a little bit. Western Kentucky and UTSA. That's for the Conference USA championship. UTSA has been undefeated all week or all season up until last week. They're 11-1, well 12-1 now. But they came into this game kind of on a sour note because you never want to go into a game after a loss, especially a big game like your conference championship. Um, but UTSA came into this game on a sour note. Western Kentucky was trying to give them their second loss of the season. It didn't happen. UTSA came out there, and from the looks of it, they played a whale of a game. Both teams. UTSA ultimately came out on top, 49-41 though. So looking at that score, I think I missed a pretty good game. I was watching the wrong one. Um, watching the wrong one brings me to the next game. The last 2 weeks, combined score is 76-17, which is crazy because Utah scored the same amount of points the first time that they did last night. The Pac-12 championship was not competitive whatsoever. Utah, Oregon meeting for the second time in 3 weeks, and Oregon did the same thing they did the first time. They went in there. I think they forgot that there's a game going on because they did not show up. Anthony Brown, from what I watched, played terrible. They were down 7-0. Oregon had the ball at like their own. I think it was like the 20 or 15-yard line. Anthony Brown threw a pass. His receiver was falling down. I think he was trying to throw it away from him, so he was diving for it. But the Utah player was there and he just took it back for 6. Later on in the game, I think it was the second half or late in the second quarter, one of the two. Anthony Brown went rolling to the right, almost went out of bounds, was in the air, threw a pass, a prayer pass pretty much. It got picked off. So Oregon needs to figure out what they need to do to fix stuff like that. If they want to win Pac-12 championships again, if they want to go to the Rose Bowl again, they've got to fix that. On the note of Utah though, they played amazingly. Their quarterback, I don't know any of these players' names because I don't really keep up with them. I think their quarterback's name is Risingly. I think it was again late in the second quarter. They were backed up at they were around midfield. Quarterback rolled to the right and just took off. Next thing he knows, he's down at the 2-yard line. He's a quarterback, but he ran like a running back. And then the very next play, they scored. So Utah looking to go play either Michigan or Iowa. Well, if Michigan wins, they won't play Michigan because they'll be playing in the playoffs. They'll be playing somebody from the Big Ten. I don't know if it's going to be Iowa or maybe even Ohio State, but they'll be playing somebody from the Big Ten in the Rose Bowl. But Utah won their very first conference championship last night, so can't be mad at that, I guess. And they're gonna go play in the Rose Bowl. If you're Utah, you can't ask for much more. That's a great season, if you ask me. I mean, they're ranked 17. They're gonna probably move up after this week. I think they'll probably be maybe they might be even 10. I don't know. Considering that they did the same thing they did the first time, just Oregon scored 3 more points. But Utah, Ohio State, that's my prediction for that. I could be wrong. I've been wrong many times before, but we'll see. We got a whole slate of conference championships today. And I don't have them in any particular order, but in the order that they're going to be played, you got Baylor, Oklahoma State for the Big 12. That's going to be at 12 o'clock today on ABC. I think Oklahoma State gets that win. 12 o'clock on ESPN. You got Kent State, Northern Illinois for the MAC championship. I think it's going to be a pretty closely contested game, but I think Northern Illinois is going to come out with the win. At 3 on Fox, you got the Utah State, San Diego State. That's the Mountain West championship. I think San Diego State's going to win that with pretty much ease. They're 11-1, and they've been playing pretty well all season long. At 3:30 on ESPN, you've got Appalachian State and Louisiana. That's a Sun Belt Conference championship. I don't want to say it, but I think Appalachian State can get the win. I think it's going to be a pretty good game, but Appalachian State plays really well, and they've only got 2 losses this year. Granted, Louisiana only has 1, but Appalachian State has only 2 losses. I'll skip that one for now. At 4 on ABC, you've got Houston and Cincinnati. That's going to be one heck of a game. You've got one team playing to just downright win the championship game and spoil chances, and you got the other team trying to win a championship game and go to the playoffs. Will it mess with Cincinnati's mojo? Maybe. It seems to always happen that way. When you've got a team who's playing for something big, playing against a team who's not really playing for something big, they're just playing to play spoiler pretty much. That team that's playing for the big picture, they get confident, and then they start making mistake after mistake after mistake, and the other team just like, hey, if you're going to keep doing that, we're going to take advantage and we're going to win this game. Houston is trying to play spoiler. They're trying to win their conference championship. They are 11-1, ranked 21st, so they're not a bad team whatsoever. But Cincinnati, ranked 4th, 12-0. They're trying to play for the college football playoff. They're trying to be the first power or group of 5 team to make it. They've looked good all season. Do I think they'll make it? Absolutely. I think they're going to win this game despite any issues that they may have, despite any issues they may face. I think Cincinnati comes out with a win. And then at 8 o'clock on Fox, you got Michigan and Iowa for the Big Ten. Michigan is 11-1. They're coming off a huge win against Ohio State in their last week. They're coming off a huge win against the Buckeyes. Iowa haven't played bad. They're 10-2. They were ranked as high as 2nd up until they lost to Purdue. And then they lost to Penn State. So Iowa, they started off strong. Right in the middle, they kind of slacked off, and then they're trying to get back to where they were. So I think Michigan's just going to use that momentum that they gained last week, and they're going to come in here and dominate today. They're going to just teach Iowa, hey, we're Michigan. We're going to do our thing, and you're just going to have to sit back and watch it. Michigan is also playing for the college football championship or college football playoff. If they win, you can't argue they're in. If they lose, they're obviously not going to be in. So for Michigan, it's win or nothing. I think Michigan's going to go in there and get that win. And then you got at 8 o'clock also on ABC, you get Pittsburgh and Wake Forest. Wake Forest was undefeated for the longest time, and then they lost 2 straight. Or they lost one, won one, lost one. But they lost last week. That's all I know. Pittsburgh, they're also 10-2. I've seen them play personally. Week 2. Yep. They played Tennessee and Knoxville and just they destroyed us. We almost came back and won, but they destroyed us. I think Wake Forest is trying to convince people that they're still relevant this season, but I think Pittsburgh is just going to go in there and shut them down. They've got a heck of a quarterback. Going to be playing in the NFL next year, pretty sure. He might be one of the early picks. But I think Pittsburgh's going to go in here and they're going to get the win. One other game that's going on. It's not a conference championship, but it was postponed to today. USC and Cal. Both teams are 4-7, so they're not playing for anything. It's literally just to put up another number in their win-loss column. USC's playing in Cal, or playing at Cal. I feel like USC is going to get the win. If Lincoln Riley is coaching that game, because he just went from Oklahoma to USC. If he's coaching that game, I think the Trojans are definitely going to get a win. If not, it might be. It could go either way. I'm not going to be watching that game because literally it's just 2 teams playing to play. So I'll just say I think USC is going to get the win. If it's close, it's close. If it's not, then USC just blew out the Golden Bears. That's my prediction, and I'm sticking with it. So the last game I'm going to talk about, it's actually at 4. Of course, it's on the SEC network, CBS. I mean, you can't have Alabama and Georgia on any other channel. Those clowns in the commentating booth just absolutely love the number 1 team if they're SEC, and they absolutely love the Crimson Tide. When both of those teams are the Crimson Tide, then you don't get anybody else. But number 1 Georgia, they're undefeated. They're 12-0. First time since 1986, I believe. They won the national championship that season. They sure did. But it's number 1 Georgia against number 3 Alabama. Do I think Alabama should be number 3? Heck no. I think they should be at the highest 4th. Because after that performance they put on against Auburn last week, they should not even be in the top 4, honestly. They were down 10-0 up until like the final play of the game. They were tied. They went into overtime. They finally won 22-20 in 4 overtimes against Auburn. They should not be number 3. They shouldn't be. But, everybody loves Alabama for some odd reason. But it's all right. Georgia's going to knock them out of the conversation for the playoff today. I think Georgia's going to go in here and they're going to have a heyday. Georgia's offense has scored a ton of points, and their defense has allowed very, very, very little points. I think they've actually allowed 7.6, I think. Hold on. Oh, they've only allowed 6.9 points a game. So we're going to see the number 1 defense against, I don't really know what offense, actually. They're not a top 5 offense, that's for sure, in yards or passing or rushing. But we'll see what happens. Let me see here. They're a top 10 offense in yards per game. But I think Georgia's going to just have their way with Alabama today. The Crimson Tide play well-ish, but they haven't looked like Alabama this season. After last season, going undefeated and winning a national championship to whatever they're doing this year, it's almost like they flip flopped. They've been kind of sleepwalking through this season. Nick Saban just jumped all over the Crimson Tide fans and said that they're spoiled and nobody likes to win. None of the fans like winning games. Apparently, when you win by a touchdown, you win by 2, you blow out your opponent. Nobody likes to win unless you blow everybody out. Nick Saban basically said, "This is not the NFL. We're not going to do that. College football is way different than pros." I agree. That's why I like NCAA more than I like NFL. It just kind of makes sense. It's more exciting that way. But Alabama fans are about to see what another loss feels like, because they lost earlier in the season to Texas A&M at Kyle Field with the 12th man, but now they're playing in Atlanta. Atlanta's in Georgia. It's only like 3 hours away from Athens. So there's probably going to be a ton of Georgia fans there, because they'll just be driving up the road, whatever. So Georgia's going to have probably a packed house in Atlanta for this game. SEC championship games always are intense. The only issue that I have with this game is the last 10 times that these two teams played, Alabama has won every single one of them. Whether it's by more than 2 touchdowns, or it's by a touchdown, they've won the last 10 games. I do believe, however, Georgia's going to come in here and get their win, and they're going to go to the college football playoff. Alabama going to be left out. If Georgia does win this game, Bama's going to drop to maybe 5, maybe 6, and that's going to put Georgia, Michigan, Cincinnati, and Oklahoma State in the college football playoff. Notre Dame will move up. They'll probably go from 6 to 5. They're going to be the first team out. But Alabama is, if they lose, they're not going. It's 2 lost teams never make it in. Never. It's never happened since the first college football playoff, and it's not going to happen this year. I don't think it's ever going to happen. But that's going to be the big game today. That's the one I'm looking forward to. That's the one I'm going to probably be watching the most. So, with that being said, I will be back next week. I'm going to discuss the Army-Navy game, because why not? Why not? But that's going to be it for now. If you want to, subscribe. Leave a comment on this video. Tell me how I did. Let me know what I can change, what I can fix, what I can make better. Hey, it's college football, baby. It's almost over, which is sad. But hey, it's college football. You gotta enjoy it while it's here, right? But for now, I'll see y'all next week. Don't forget to subscribe. But yep, y'all have a good one. Peace out. Love you. God bless.